Hello, Internet! Welcome to, my insanity. Tonight I will be talking about books and the Bout of Books readathon and the to be read nonsense. And I also have a book review. Let's start off with a book review, shall we? This is the Krampus. I can't talk, but this is the Krampus. It is of a European lore. I cannot remember which lore it is from, like which country I should say, but to be quick, because I've done this video so many times and I'm tired of talking about it, Krampus is basically Santa's homie who chases you around with sticks that are tied up and bundled together. If you are bad, instead of getting a lump of coal, you get this fucker chasing you around with sticks to spank you. He rattles chains at you, and if you're really bad, he sticks you in a sack and drags you to hell. That's basically the lore goes. Well, Santa gets sick and tired of his shit, tosses homeboy down a hole in the ground, leaves him there to rot and die. Well, Krampus says, "Fuck you, sir. No. I will not die. In fact, I will be free again, and I will have my vengeance." And in the mix of this is this man named Jesse. He's already going through some bad shit. He's this aspiring music artist who just wants to make it big for his wife whom separated him and his daughter. And he's already having problems on top of finding Santa's sack, which causes demon men to chase after him. Well, hardships are bestowed upon him, and he's basically just on a rush against time to try and save his daughter from this man named the General, who threatened his family and him, on top of running away from homie and devilmen, as he calls them. So, there's that. It's a really good book. It sounds cheesy as fuck, but I seriously recommend it. It's tedious because the chapters are really long, and I'm the type of people who likes to read slow. Like, not by choice, but I read slow, not on purpose. But I read slow, and it's just, the chapters are really long. They're so long. But it's so good, even though it's tedious. But because I am such a slow reader, I like to finish chapters before I take a break. And it's hard when they're just so long. And, but yeah, once I finally got around to finishing it, I was really pleased with it in the end, so, yeah. So, this is the Krampus. Please go check it out. Brom needs to get his name more out there because his work is really fantastic. I will link his website in the description bar box thing below. Whatever. I can't talk. And check that out. Now, I will also be posting the Bout of Books link in the description bar. I did it again, box below, so that way you guys can go check it out. And the list I have for this is another Brom book, to start it off. The readathon starts midnight tonight. I know I'm cutting this horribly short, but it starts midnight tonight, and it ends midnight on the 12th of this month. So I'm starting Brom's Child Thief tonight. Really excited to reading this book, and it's a dark twist on a fairy tale classic. It's about Peter Pan. Das ist Peter, and he steals the children of our world and reality and takes them to Neverland. That is my phone. Steals them and takes them to Neverland, puts them in his army that he is at war with the captain. Obviously, Captain Hook. So, yes, really excited to read this book. Can't wait to start it tonight. Also by my literature husband and vengeful god, Brom. This man gives me all the feels. He needs to stop being perf, because look at that fucking artwork. He writes, illustrates, and publishes all of his shit. The man is fucking fantastic. I can't even. So, Child Thief is up tonight. And then the next book is really small, paperback, really beat up, but I found this in a used bookstore, thought it was really interesting looking, and I cannot pronounce her name correctly. I think it's Armentrout, but if it's mispronounced, I'm sorry. But it's The Queen of Light. It's mom porn. For those of you who don't know what mom porn is, it's romance novels. And yes, Mom, it is mom porn. Just saying, it's mom porn. She likes to argue with me that romance novels are not called mom porn, when really they are. So this is basically about, when the world of fantasy and myths are merged with the mortal world, we freak out and send them to the underground, which is the sewer and abandoned railway station thingies, you know, like subway stations, and then they kind of congregate and, you know, stuff like that down there. And basically in this world, God is missing. Angels and demons are also involved. It's kind of crazy. I started reading this book a long time ago, but something else caught my attention, so I wanted to start reading that, but it was really good when I was reading it. It was really hard to get into, but it started getting good, and then something else that I thought would be better caught my attention, so I started reading that. But God is missing in this world, so the angels go down to the underground to look for God and stuff like that. And if you are touched by a fairy or what have you, a mystical creature, and you are an angel, you basically become a archangel, fallen angel, what have you, and you are stuck down there in the world of mortals and fantasy and great stuff. It sounds really cheesy, but when I was reading it the first time, it was really interesting, kind of something that I never heard of before. It was done by a lovely goth chick. She's goth, like, it's really hard to see her picture, but yes, goth chick. So, you know, we shall see. Really excited to read that as well. These are, I'm basically reading books that I was either supposed to read, started reading but didn't finish, or just never got around to it. That includes this one. It's a young adult book. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it and heard of it. It's Fallen by Lauren Kate. I wanted this book a really long time ago, and I just never got around to reading it because I was just thinking, I'll read it later. But it's kind of funny because I bugged the shit out of my mom for this book. I was like, Mom, I want it. She finally got it for me. I just burped, but she finally got it for me, and I just didn't get around to reading it. She actually read it before I did, which is the funny thing. So, yeah, that's a thing. And so I'm going to start reading it tonight. Hopefully it's good. But, really excited. I think it's about fallen angels. Obviously, that's why it's called Fallen. Oh, by the way, this is also the beginning of a series, Queen of Light is. The books in the series are Children of Darkness and Veil of Shadows. Yeah. And this is also the first in a series. I'm not sure what the other ones are. I know that Tortured's one of them. I think that's actually the sequel. But yeah, so first in a series. I'm pretty sure it's about fallen angels. It is. There you go. Gonna read that too. And then, God damn this book. This book right here, Everything's Eventual, 14 Dark Tales by Stephen King. I have been trying to fucking finish and read this book for years now, but can't because the first story, it's obviously many books in one. The first story is called Autopsy Room 4. I've tried reading this book so many times, I already know what the first one is. The first one is about a man who gets bitten by a rattlesnake or some fucking snake in the middle of the desert and has all the symptoms of being dead. He has no pulse, he has no nothing. His eyes don't even dilate. But he's alive. He's just really fucking paralyzed, like vegetable status, only worse. And he can't do anything about it. He wakes up and he's in a body bag. And they're about to cut him open. And I finally finished it, and it gave me a heart attack. I think if I was to reread that story again, I might go into a coma because of how badly it scared me. It's just stuff like that, you know? Like, holy shit, nope. That is a big fat fucking nope. But then again, that is Stephen King for you. I think that is his goal, to scare people into wanting to, sleep into a coma. But I'm gonna try and finish reading the rest of this because I need to. I already have nightmares and dreamscapes, and I am terrified to no end of that book. It is like 14, it's like Everything's Eventual, only, that huge. And it's Stephen King. My mom got it for me, and I just looked at it, and I kind of cried a little inside. Not only because is it beautiful, but just because it's Stephen King, and the motherfucker scares the shit out of me. That's my hero for you. Been my hero since I was 10. So, but yeah. So, those are my small list of books that I'm going to be reading. Go check out the Krampus, it's really good. I will put Brahm's website in the doobly-doo. I will also put the link to the Bout of Books readathon nonsense in the doobly-doo, and I will also list off everything once again. And just, yeah, so let's do this thing. Really excited, and I will catch you guys later, internet.